Oh my gosh. Okay, one more time. Good morning. There you go. I need some energy in the room. Is that okay? Good. So two things we need to get out of the way. Okay, number one, I am from southern Mississippi, so I'm good in country, and it's going to come out, okay, before the end of the presentation. It probably will come out in the form of a y'all, but that's okay, right? All right, second thing, who in the world wants to speak after an astronaut? I mean, why? Couldn't she be like last, Charlotte? That would have been so great for me. My only saving grace is I am a scientist in some aspect. I don't really use my degree for anything other than telling my husband that I'm always right. But past that, I mean, wasn't she great? I mean, she's an astronaut. Yeah. If that wasn't the best way to start this off, Charlotte, my goodness, I'm inspired all over again. Not to be an astronaut, absolutely not. I don't think I could do half of the stuff she's talking about up here. But at least I'm inspired to be more of who I am. Is that okay? I think that's what we all want to be, right? And so, of course, I'm up here in front of you, and so you're probably thinking, like, who is this girl and why is she here and what the heck is Fit Life Balance? And so I'm gonna attempt to teach you what that is, and it's gonna look or sound a little differently than what you probably expect. So she's giving you an amazing bio written by somebody that I don't know who that is. But great stuff, right? It sounded like an amazing story. I did quit my job. I did leap off into full-blown entrepreneurship, and it was the scariest thing I could have ever done in my life. As a matter of fact, when I did it, I had just had my second daughter. So she was 4 weeks old at the time. Yay. Look at all of the ums in the room. Okay, and so if you can imagine my situation, 4 weeks after having a baby, and we now open up this big brick and mortar business, and I'm sitting at my desk with my daughter on one breast pump on another, and a headset similar to this answering phone calls. So I'm always curious to know if the person on the other end could hear the breast pump going, eh. It doesn't really matter. I was getting the job done, right? And so I said all that to say that I'm unique in a lot of different ways. I am a wife. Any wives in the room? All right, it's a lot of you. Okay, any moms in the room? And any business owners in the room? All right, now here's a unique perspective. Can you raise your hand to all three? Wife, mom, and business owner. Wow, okay. So I will be talking to you mostly today, but the rest of you will not be forgotten. Is that okay? All right, and so as I took this amazing leap, 4 weeks postpartum, and I'm going through everything that I needed to go through to, accomplish, of course, our goal business, and then, of course, be this super mom and then an amazing wife at the same time. Things got a little difficult, if you can imagine, because our days were very long. In the insurance industry, of course, it's sales, and so our clock never turns off. Like, I am always in sales mode. And so I'm doing this, at the office, and then, of course, I had to leave. We live about 40 minutes away from our office, and so I'm driving this 40-minute commute one way. I'm going back home. I'm picking up then my oldest daughter from school. I am, cooking dinner, doing homework, or helping with homework, I should say. And then, of course, I'm getting them ready for bed to start the day all over. Except when they go to bed, I'm still on. I still have a laptop in my lap. I'm still typing, crazy, trying to make sure that I get everything done, and then, of course, set up for the next day. And so I did that for, let's say, over a year, and it got really crazy. Anybody know what burnout is? All right. At least the ones that are wives, moms, and business owners for sure should be able to raise your hand to that. And so I experienced some extreme burnout. I mean, unbelievable burnout, to the point where I almost lost my family, my marriage, and my business. And so I had to take a huge step back. And I just explained to you my crazy daily schedule. But what my step back actually looked like was 21 days of nothingness. And so at the time, of course, I didn't want my daughters to know, that their mom was pretty much about to lose her mind. So I had to pretend as if I was normal for them. Any moms know what that's like, to pretend like you're normal for your kids so that they don't think that their mom is about to go off to the crazy house? And so I'm, getting up, cooking breakfast as usual. I'm driving my daughters to school, and then finally we had, gotten the youngest into daycare, so taking her there, and then I'd come home and I'd crash in this little corner in my sofa, and I'd be there for about 8 hours. I'd cry, I'd moan, I'd pray, whatever it was that I needed to do in that moment, I did it all day long. I didn't talk to anybody if I didn't want to. I didn't look at anything. Maybe I even slept. But what I was really doing in that time was getting all of the junk out of me that didn't need to be there. I had to identify who Crystal was, what she wanted, and why was she actually here on earth. And so in that 21 days, I started to rebuild myself. I started to read books that were sitting on my shelf for years. Anybody else got a bookshelf that's just like full of books? It's information in those things, people. You should read them before you're burned out, okay? My God, thank goodness I had the right books on my shelf at the right time. And so I'm following through these books. I'm reading all this information that was literally in my house for years, and I wish I would have gotten it, before I did. But I'm glad that I had the experience, or I had the opportunity to sit for those 21 days and just search, soul search, hear from God, understand who Crystal was and why, find my purpose. And my goodness, when I found that thing, I got totally on fire. And so after I healed in those 21 days, I said, oh my gosh, what I just did after literally a total life fall apart, what I did in that short stint of time, I said, I have to be able to figure out how to help other women do exactly what I did. Because if you raise your hand at the beginning of my talk here saying that you are a wife, a mom, and a business owner, I know that you're experiencing some daily challenges that you don't necessarily want to go through every day, right? Now, here's where I really realized I went down the wrong path. Does anybody know how to say no? Oh, it's funny now. It's funny. So that's no, that you don't know how to say no. Is that what that is? Can anybody say no without being guilty about it? It's a few people in the room that can say no and not feel guilty about it. See, I had experienced my burnout because I never said no to my spouse. I had never said no to my kids. I mean, you breast pump, kid over here, you see, I can't. Not only that, I couldn't say no to business. I couldn't say no to the very things that were literally draining the life out of me. Now, how is that? The people that you love and care about the most, or the things that you think that you like or love the most, are actually draining the life out of you? Does that sound accurate for most people in the room? Oh, you don't want to admit it now. I know it's in here. I can feel it. And so for me, I had to step back in that time frame and say, Crystal, you have to figure out a way to find balance in your life. You have to figure out a way to adjust your daily schedule to make sure that you're making time for the things that are most important. But most importantly, make sure you have time for you. Now, how many people in the room can actually say that you actually have time for yourself? That's a small number compared to the amount of you guys that said you were wives, moms, and business owners, right? And so making time for ourselves is so important if we want to make sure that we have balance in our life. And what I finally realized over time is it's really not time management, right? It's boundary management. And so this is what I did. In those 21 days, I discovered my core values. Does anybody have core values in the room? All right, this is good. We're getting more numbers now. And so my core values are very simple. I have 5 of them. I'm going to give them to you. And if you don't have any, I suggest you borrow mine. And I'm okay with that. Like, I won't say that you stole it. If anything, I'd be more grateful that I shared it with you today, and then you took it home and you actually used it for your life. What's going to be most important, though, is that after you find out these core values, that you actually go home and you say no to anything else that doesn't fall in between those. Oh, wow, I heard some noises right there. We have to do some counseling sessions. So, first core value, faith. So for me in these 21 dark days, I call it my desert place because it was hot, it was dark, it was a bad place. And so I knew that I needed to realign myself with God. I knew I needed to find my happy place, so to speak, with him. And so I would, pray, I would meditate, I would worship, I would, read spiritual books, things of that nature to realign myself. And so faith for me is very important, and it's actually the first thing that I do every day. If I'm going to get up, and my schedule is crazy, I do get up most mornings at about 4 o'clock in the morning. That's Monday through Friday. Saturdays, I'm a late sleeper. I get up at about 6 or 7. So I have 2 toddlers. You cannot sleep past 8. It's not happening. And so, my everyday schedule, I'm getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to start with prayer or worship or something of that nature. But I understand that that sets the tone for my day. That makes my day flow so much smoother. And so we don't think about what we're doing on a daily basis, like what we're doing consistently. We're not really paying attention to that. But these are the things that help us to accomplish the long-term goals that we're looking to do. And so for me, I understood that having a strong faith foundation was going to most definitely help me to dominate life, okay? And so my second core value, now don't gasp on me on this one, because my second one is fitness. Ha-ha, aha, it's not family, it's fitness. Now for me, fitness is my happy place, and let me explain. I do get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and by 4:30, I'm jetted out, headed to the gym, because I love to lift heavy weights. And so for me, fitness is the place where I'm like Crystal. And see, a lot of us as women, we identify ourselves as, me, I'm Lemoyne's wife. I'm Caitlin and Kirsten's mom. I am owner of Dominate with Crystal and owner of Lemoyne Robinson State Farm. But really and truly, I'm Crystal. And Crystal knows what Crystal likes. And a lot of us identify ourselves as wife, mom, business owner. And I understood in this period of time whose I was, and what I wanted to do. And so for me, I started identifying myself as Crystal. And Crystal likes fitness. And fitness makes me happy. And if I'm happy, we have happy husband, we have happy kids, we have happy businesses, right? Now tell me how many of you guys actually start your day doing something that makes you happy before you even see your spouse or your kids? Wow. I'm getting less than 10 hands right now. That's huge. That is absolutely huge. See, for me, I understood that if I could put myself in a place of which I was happiest in the beginning of my day, I set the tone for the rest of my day. I also understand that if I don't, then my kids probably aren't going to have the best tasting breakfast. My husband may not get me to cooperate quite well at the office, and I might just leave early. That's my day. And so for me, fitness is second, not because it's more important than my kids or my spouse or my business. It's second because I understand that it's going to help me to operate much better throughout the day. Now, of course, my third core value is family. I do love and care. Oh, I like how all the heads went down. They wrote down family. That's so good. That is so good. That made me feel like all bubbly inside. So family is so important to me. I love my husband dearly. I love my kids. And I just want to make sure that they know that. Even though I'm here, a lot of miles away, I know that they're there supporting me, rooting me on. But I'm doing exactly what I do right now for my family, because of them, because I love them so much. And we can't be afraid to love our families as much as they deserve. But we also can't be afraid to say no to those exact same people. See, when the kids want an extra activity and you are just not feeling it, is it okay to say no? Because if I say yes and we go anyway, I don't think they really gonna have a good time. Like, I just don't feel like going to the park today. My allergies are crazy. It's the peak of springtime, and if I go, I'm gonna sneeze all night while you just sleep. So let's just not go to the park right now. Like, can we do a in-house game? Let's play Uno or a little Monopoly. How about that? Just change it up, but we don't have to be, so adamant about saying yes to everything that our families want just because we love them. Like, is it okay to say no? Does anybody? Okay, now we're getting some nods. It's okay to say no. But I'm saying no, and I'm also still loving them the same because I understand who I am. And so here we go with number 4, finances. Oh, wow. Anybody like money? Okay. So one of my mentors always says, I don't love money, but it is like right next to oxygen. It's like oxygen and then money. It's like so important. And so for me, I do make sure that even though I have all these other core values, finances has to be a core value of mine because I can't do anything that I want to do on a daily basis without money, right? Like, we can't be in here without paying registration or renting out the building or, paying for the things that are necessary for it to be here. But if we don't structure our lives in such a way to make sure that that money lines up, we don't have it, right? All right, good. So 5th core value. Oh, now this one, you'll probably fall out your chair. Fun. Anybody like to have fun? All right, we got some partiers in the room. That's the most excitement I've gotten on all 5 core values. So I say this fun, but I twist it up a little bit. I don't mean fun with family. I mean fun with the things that you like to do. Like, I schedule fun outside of my family. I love my husband, I love my kids, but there's nothing wrong with you having fun away from them. And I know most of you were thinking fun like, oh yeah, let's do a family vacation. No. What about a girls' weekend? You know? Thank you. Can we take a flight with just the girls? Or maybe with just yourself if that's your deal. I mean, you can have fun by yourself, but the point is we always seem to think, especially as women, that we have to do things that other people want us to do. Like, we can have our own agenda. We can set our own rules. Like, we can do what we want to do. Is that okay? I got some nods, but I want some heck yes. And so in saying all of that, these core values for me are literally my lifeline. And I understand that if I don't have those core values, then when somebody comes and they give me a business idea that doesn't align with my faith goals or my beliefs, or if they don't align with what it is that my family is working to do, or if it doesn't fit me financially, I can immediately say no without the guilt. And see, these boundaries also help me to find great balance. And see, as women, here's what we do. We have a list over here of 15 items. Somebody comes along and they say, oh, well, you know, such and such is happening at 2 o'clock on Saturday. Do you think you can come? And you see these 10 items over here, and instead of you immediately saying no, what do? You say things like, I'll see if I can make it, or I may just need to shuffle around a few things, and then when stuff gets all out of whack, and then 8 of the things over here didn't get done because you shifted in an item that was not necessarily on your schedule from the beginning, you wonder why you're about to experience major burnout, right? It's simply one thing that we need to do. Set core values. Core values for me have literally changed my life, literally. And having those core values, understanding that my balance actually comes when I can say no, not feel guilty about it, but also understand that all I'm doing is having boundaries in my daily life. Is that okay to do that? Because I'm getting some looks as if it's not okay to do that. And I know that I'm shifting some of your thought processes, and I know you thought fit life balance was actually about fitness. I just coined the term because I thought it was cute. But what fit life balance really is about being able to fit the things that you actually love and care about into your daily schedule and not lose your freaking mind. Is that all right? And so if I leave you with anything today, I just want you guys to know something. We are fearless, and we are women. But if we don't have core values, we will allow other people to overtake us day by day by day. I know we're strong. I know that we are courageous. But a lot of times we are not necessarily realizing how strong we are because we haven't set the boundaries that we need to set and stand firmly on them. Balance is possible. And it's not about finding this pretty little scale and sitting everything on and everything works out great. It's about letting go and knowing what you can pull in. Letting go, knowing what you can pull in. And so I hope that you guys have enjoyed my talk today. You can see me back at my booth back here, but I really have enjoyed the energy here, and I do appreciate your time.
Crystal Robinson.
Thank you.